Pretend you just got hacked and you can't play your favorite mobile game anymore. After 3 years invested in a bunch of anime girls and macroeconomics, you are now adrift in a sea of mediocre gacha projects. Luckily, you hear of this new action RPG. What's it called? Punishing Gray Raven. You look it up and see that people love the gameplay, and hey, you've even got it downloaded. Must have forgotten to try it. So you boot it up and bam, wow, you're right in the action already. Some girl is dying and now you're controlling her, and the gameplay is really good, just like people said, and you're having a great time so you aren't thinking too much, because man, is this just a blast to play. Look at this guy and her. They've got horns? As the honeymoon energy wears off, you start to realize you don't really know what's going on. Maybe you decide to go to YouTube and search Punishing Gray Raven lore, and you find this tiny little channel making silly videos with paper cutouts. That seems fun. You decide to subscribe to see what they'll do. After watching a bit, you return to the game ready to use your super smart analytical brain to figure out exactly what's happening. Let's take it play by play. You notice that the girl you just met is called a construct. Ooh, maybe she's like a robot. She has to reboot and stuff, very robot-y. And oh, she just turned off her pain receptors, definitely not human. So, okay, these characters you just met are constructs, which means they're all robotified, but do they have any squishy human parts? Your intuition tells you no, because you read they have vital fluid instead of blood and a mind instead of a brain. And your intuition turns out to be right. Constructs are completely mechanical and have 0 meaty organic flesh parts. You decide to make a list of everything you know about constructs, but hold on, they've all got pretty unique personalities. So maybe they used to be human? Maybe they were real people who did some crazy sci-fi mind upload thing and put their consciousness into robot bodies. As luck would have it, you're spot on. Most constructs used to be human and became constructs through some sort of surgery that replaced their bodies of warm flesh with cold steel and deadly weapons. Put it on the list. Back when this Lucia girl was fighting, she mentioned something called mind deviation. You wonder what that means? Oh, you got it. She probably needs to make sure she stays human, or else she'll go crazy and become like all these evil robots you're fighting. Staying human is hard though. It means constructs need to sleep and feel emotions too, unlike our enemies. What are these things anyway? You don't worry about that right now. One mystery at a time. Wait, now that you think about it, you've been fighting this whole time. Is this some sort of army you're in? And who are you anyway? The others keep calling you Commandant, so maybe you're commanding this squad of constructs? And you're all soldiers in the army. Yeah, that tracks. 2 more things for the list. And hey, if you're a military squad, why do all the constructs have horn thingies? Is that a weapon they're gonna use to headbutt the enemies for lethal damage? No, that's silly, you decide. These must be some sort of antennas. Yes, that sounds good to you. Antennas for, telepathic communication. These antenna things are actually called inver devices and are super important to the plot of the game, so remember them. They keep the minds of your constructs clear and focused, and prevent your squad from going berserk like all of the other non-people-y robots you keep fighting. You, the Commandant, also have something on your maybe head, maybe body, called a mind beacon, which is the transmitter to the inver device's receiver. The mind beacon sends out your telepathic good vibes so that your constructs can properly engage in self-care. This list is gonna get pretty long. After playing for a while, you notice that sometimes these constructs of yours look different. Suspiciously different. This Lucia girl is always red and black and swordy, but sometimes her hair is up, and after a certain chapter her face totally changes. What gives? And this Lee guy loses his horns and live. Does everybody have clones? Unfortunately not, but they do have different bodies. Constructs can yeet their consciousness from one body, called a frame, into another for more specialized combat scenarios or general upgrades. Pretty cool. List it. While we're at it, remember the whole staying human thing? Well, it turns out that's why construct frames all look somewhat similar to their past human counterparts. If they look too different or lose their sense of self, their mind can deviate and they'll stop being your cool friend and turn into a deadly enemy. You've barely been playing the game for a day and you sure have learned a lot. You're certain this is just the start of a treasure trove of information, but you decide to save that deep dive for another time. Your list is getting pretty long after all. Satisfied with your detective work? You gaze upon your list with pride. Let's go over it one more time. Constructs are completely mechanical with no biological components, were formerly humans who got surgically mechanized, need to stay human and fight mind deviation by doing human things like feeling emotions and looking like their old selves, are deployed in squads led by human commandants who have a mind beacon, use inver devices to keep their sanity and stay clear, and have multiple frames they can switch between for different missions, combat scenarios, or just when they need different abilities. What a beautiful creation! Surely this is a legendary tome of knowledge. But there's still so much you don't know. What's the punishing virus? Who's this president guy? What's our greater purpose? Your mind is racing with possibilities, but you decide those are gonna have to wait for another day. Bidding your old game a final farewell, you look towards your future as a PGR lore hunter. Welcome to the debut of a new visual style. If you liked it, good, because this is what I'm doing from now on. It's all gonna be paper cutouts. Here's some more videos for your viewing pleasure, and don't forget to subscribe. Later!